Good morning. Our topic for today is all about the muscular system. So, the function of the muscular system. Now, producing movement is a common function of all muscle types, but skeletal muscle plays three other important roles in the body as well. And now, let's start with the very first function. We have the producing of movement. It is the ability of the body as a whole reflects the activity of the skeletal muscles which are responsible for all locomotion, meaning um, they enable us to respond quickly to changes in the external environment. And next, we have the maintaining posture. We are rarely aware of the skeletal muscles to maintain body posture, yet they function almost continuously, making one tiny adjustment after another so that we can maintain an erect or seated posture despite the never-ending downward pull of the gravity. And also, we have these stabilizing joints. As the skeletal muscle pull on bones to cause movements, they also stabilize the joints of the skeleton. Muscle tendons are extremely important in reinforcing and stabilizing joints that have poorly fitting articulating surfaces. And lastly, we have the generating heat. It is the fourth function of the muscle that it generates the body heat. It is the byproduct of muscle activity or what we call the ATP. So the ATP or the adenosine triphosphate is used to power muscle contractions, nearly three-quarters of its energy to escape as heat, and this heat is vital in maintaining normal body temperature. And we're going to talk about the anatomy of muscular system. So now, this is just an illustration that will show you the muscular system. Basically, this is the muscle of your body, the front, and of course the back. So next, what are the four common muscle characteristics? So of course, number one, we have the contractility. Now, this is the ability of the muscle to contract when the actin and the myosin filaments slide across each other. Now, a contraction is a reduction in the size of the muscle fibers. A muscle is must have extensibility. It is the next characteristic of the muscle system. Um, it is for movement to occur. And of course, next we have the elasticity. This is the ability of your muscle to return to its original position. And take note, once a muscle stretches, it needs the ability to return to its original shape. And of course, lastly, we have the excitability. This is the ability of the muscle to respond to stimuli. Muscle movements occur in the response to nerve impulse. And next, we're gonna talk about the types of muscle. We have the cardiac, the skeletal, and the smooth muscle. And when we talk about the smooth muscle, it is found inside the organs like the stomach and the intestine, as well as on blood vessels. It is the weakest of all muscle tissues, and which makes up your organ. Now, this contracts to move substances throughout the organ because the visceral muscle or the smooth muscle is controlled by the unconscious part of the brain. So unconscious meaning it is known as involuntary muscle. So it cannot be directly controlled by our conscious mind. The term smooth muscle uniform appearance when viewed under a microscope. This smooth appearance starkly contrasts with the branded appearance of cardiac and skeletal muscle. Next, we have the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle. This muscle is only found in the heart because it is cardiac muscle. It is responsible for pumping blood throughout the body. Cardiac muscle tissue cannot be controlled consciously, so it is also an involuntary muscle. Cardiac muscle and the smooth muscle, those are both involuntary, meaning you cannot control them, while hormones and signals from the brain adjust the rate of contraction. Cardiac muscle stimulates itself to contract the neutral pacemaker of the heart. It is made of the cardiac muscle tissue that stimulates other cardiac muscle cells to contract. Because of its stimulation, cardiac muscle is considered to be arthritic or intrinsically controlled. And of course, lastly, we have the skeletal muscle. Now, this is the only voluntary muscle, meaning the muscles in your body that you can control. It is controlled consciously. Every physical action that a person consciously performs requires a skeletal muscle. The function of the skeletal muscle is to contract, to move parts of the body closer to the bone that the muscle is attached. Most skeletal muscles are attached to two bones across a joint to move muscles and serves as the part of those bones closer to each other. Now, cardiac and smooth muscles are involuntary muscles, meaning you can control, and skeletal muscles are the only muscle that you can control. So, that is the end of our topic or the discussion for today, and I hope that you learned something. Thank you.